Well, we're having a look today at the MX-5 or the Miata. This in the Canadian market is the GS trim with the additional sports package, costs you $4,400, and for your money you get the black BBS wheels, you get the red Brembo brakes with unique discs. Inside is the biggest change. You get the Recaro seats with the Alcantara and leather, plus the seats are heated and the seats are adjustable for $4,400. But that's on top of what is already an expensive midline trim, and we'll get to the price towards the end. So the MX-5 has been out for about a year now, and I gotta tell you, I have seen one on the road here in Canada. Just could be my luck, but I don't think that this thing is selling as well as they had hoped. And for me, it comes down to styling. Some angles, I think they got the design quite right. I like the size of the car, the proportions are good, but some of the design elements around the back just look a little bit light to me. The back of the car with the single tail light, really tapered in and pinched at the back, doesn't look meaty enough to me. Now, I'm definitely in the minority here because this car won World Car of the Year and World Design of the Year. So you decide whether you like it or not. I just think some of the elements of the car are maybe just a little bit off. So I went to the launch in California to drive this car, but now I've had it for a week. So I'm going to run through the things that bubble up to the top and some things I think could be improved, but inside is definitely an update for some people who have the money. All right, I've got the roof up for a reason, and it's to show you just how simple it is to put up and down. So that's putting down and that's putting up. I mean, it doesn't get any simpler than that. And it's just a wonderful spring-loaded system that makes it easy for anybody. You can do it while you're driving, especially at a traffic light. So it's a wonderful system, and they've gone to a lot of effort to get all the details in this car just right. For example, they shifted the seat right to the middle of the car as they could. They aligned the pedals, the steering wheel, and the seat all in a row. That wasn't the case in the past. They dropped the seat. These are the faux suede and leather Recaro seats. These are not available in the US. It's a Canadian-only package, and they're heated, which is a bonus for us, but it all comes at a price. The other thing I love about this car is they've gone back to speakers in the headrest. They had this in the Miata in the 90s. It disappeared for a long time, and it's back. And when you're driving along, it just helps fill in the sound, but it's especially helpful when you're on the phone, because it really amps up the volume here when you're on the phone, Bluetooth connectivity all through the communication system. So that is wonderful. Unfortunately, only here on the driver's side, not on the passenger side, and that's a bit of an omission. Now, the other thing is you have this cup holder thing that sits here to give you a second cup holder over the one, or actually three of them if you want, over the one that's in the front. Now, you do hit your arm on it, so if there's nobody in the car, that gets stored right in there. Goodbye, forget about it. Not a lot of storage in this car. It's obviously, everything is a compromise when you're trying to produce the lightest, most efficient sports car you can, so getting all the weight right. Communication system definitely is welcome. This is something that you see in other Mazda products. It's very simple and easy to use, and after a while you realize that it's great to have all the latest connectivity in this car. This is only available in the middle and the upper trim. If you want the bare bones model, it doesn't come with that 7-inch screen. So let's get this thing on the road and I'll tell you all about it. Now, just to recap what this car has under the hood, it's a 2-liter engine, Skyactiv technology. It's down on horsepower from the previous model at 155 horsepower and 148 pound-feet of torque, but this car is smaller than the previous model and it's lighter, and I gotta tell you, I don't really feel, except for high-speed passing, that it's missing any power. It is absolutely a treat to drive in the city. This is a wonderful car for commuting. If you wanted to drive into the city, move in and out of traffic, and put it anywhere you want when it comes to parking, this car is fantastic for that. And then when you get it out on a beautiful road like the Sea to Sky Highway we have here in British Columbia, and get it into the twisty bits, man, it never sets a foot wrong. This car is absolutely perfect. I don't know why people say that it's a chick car. I've never understood that, because if you know how to drive, if you know how to heel and toe downshift and get the balance of the car right in the corners, you can wring so much out of this car and have so much fun. I think pound for pound or kilo for kilo, there's no better car on the road than the MX-5. And the changes they made for this model with longer wheelbase, lighter platform, new engine, it really is in a class of its own. It doesn't have any competition. And that's one of the reasons why I think they can charge more, is because what else are you going to buy in this category? There really isn't anything. You could get a Beetle convertible. That's not the same car as this. Mustang convertible. That's not the same car as this. It really stands alone. One thing to keep in mind, this car does require premium fuel. So just factor that into your budgeting when you're planning on buying. So Mazda went to great efforts to make this car appeal to a younger generation, edgier styling, more connectivity inside. They really want to appeal to the next generation of roadster buyers, Gen X and Gen Y, but I think they're going to have a hard time, and maybe the reason I've only seen one of these on the road, it's the price. This thing is expensive. It starts at $32,000 here in Canada. If you want to get the most expensive model, it's right around $40,000. That's before freight and tax, so you're well over $40,000. Now this model here, the middle GS, this is the only trim you can get the sport package on. It's $4,400 on top of the $35,300. That brings the price to just under 40 grand. That's a lot of money, and you could be into a used Boxster for that kind of money, and not that old either. As a reference point, in the United States, the base model starts at $25,000, and the GT, the top trim, is $30,000. So this car is $10,000 more than it would be in the United States. That's something we got to get our heads around. But you know what? There is nothing like driving an MX-5 Miata. It is a wonderful experience. You just got to have the money to buy one. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe. To watch the initial review of the MX-5 Miata, click the picture on the left.